When the woman life freedom movement started, as almost whenever any movement starts, I have mixed feelings because I absolutely hate the performative virtue signaling.
Sure.
And in a way, I prefer the struggle of like getting people to pay attention and care. But I'd rather do that on an individual level rather than the media saying, oh, now you should care. And I resent that, if I'm being honest, because for my whole life, off and on, but, rather consistently throughout my life, ever since I could remember, there's been whisperings in my ear of my cousin being imprisoned in Iran and leaving. And we tell a fuller story of that on my show with me and my mom. My cousin being imprisoned and interestingly in prison, as with a lot of Baha'is, we're members of the Bahá'í faith in our family, religious minorities, which I do think is an interesting perspective because we often think of minorities in regards to race.
How many, I'm completely ignorant of this, how many
Sure.
different religious flavors are there? Because it's very tribal, and the government is X, and how big is your mom's faith?
Right. In Iran, there are many Muslims. There are Christians. There are Jews. There are Baha'is. There are Zoroastrians, which is actually more true to the roots of Iran. There's a misconception out there. I don't know how common it is, but there's a misconception out there that Iran's roots are in Islam. That's not true. Iran's roots, they run much deeper and much more ancient to Zoroastrianism, which, as I understand it and as I was brought up with flavors of that, there's plenty of research you could do, but I just kind of want to give like big picture feel of it. Like there's fire, like jumping over the fire every spring equinox at Nowruz. There's the lion. There's bravery. There's actually a vision of what looks like an eagle on one of the main flags. And actually, when the Women Life Freedom movement started, a comment came through on my Facebook, and one guy, a conservative guy who I usually agree with on everything, was like, this must be a psyop. Could be. But he's like, this must be a psyop. Why are women all of a sudden in Iran wanting to be like us, Westerners? And I'm like, screw you, respectfully. And I said it. Well, I didn't say screw you, but that's what I said in the privacy of my own mind. And then I calmly, briefly explained ancient Persia is a much older civilization than our baby country of the U.S. Not to downplay how great America is, but that's just the truth of the matter.
Yeah.
And women, particularly Kurdish women, and Mahsa Amini, whose death sparked the Women Life Freedom movement rather recently, she was Kurdish. As I understand, I think I do have Kurdish heritage as well, way back when. There's nomads, musicians, ancient history of art in my family.